I need you to know something right now. Being famous, it's a trap. You want to have money, but not be famous. You want to have money like one of these NASCAR drivers, but nobody know who you are. You want to have money like these politicians, like Nancy Pelosi, and nobody know who you is. Black people, I think we only control maybe like 3% of the wealth in this country. But why is it that everybody know who our biggest idols are? Everybody know who our biggest influencers are. Everybody know who our biggest musicians are, our biggest athletes. Think about it. The biggest musician right now is black, Kendrick Lamar or Beyonce. The biggest athlete right now is black, LeBron James. The biggest actor is black, Denzel Washington. The biggest Twitch streamer influencer is black, Kai Cenat. Even though he's not FBA, but he's still black. And do y'all ever think to yourself, bro, why do they be so interested in infiltrating our spaces and propping up black people? I got a theory. I think that the music industry and all of these people, I think they prey on black people's low self-esteem. Follow me. Man, if you black and you telling me that you've never had a point in your life where you had low self-esteem, you lying. All of us go through that at some point in time in our life, where whether it's your family members, whether it's you at school and you getting picked on. And black people, I'm not talking about getting picked on or like you fighting, like you throwing haymakers. Black people pick on you internally. They don't need to beat you up to pick on you. They can crack jokes on you. They can talk about your money. They can talk about where you live. They can just make fun of you, completely destroy your self-esteem. That's what black people do. Talk about the kind of shoes you got. Talk about the type of clothes you got. I know what it's like. And trust me, black people. Trust me, I get it. I'm black. Both my parents black. I get it. You go into a world where you always feel unappreciated, to where you feel like you got to do twice as much to get the same treatment. It's everywhere. Even on social media. Like, you know how hard it is for black influencers to blow up on social media? You know how hard it is for black people to get any type of recognition at all? Even during Black History Month, majority of the world don't want to see it. But we keep that relevant. That's why a lot of little boys, a lot of young black boys, when they're in school, they always be cutting up. They don't get the kind of attention that they feel like they deserve. And black women typically are more mature at younger ages. Women's brain develop faster than what men's do. They typically smarter. It's a lot easier for black women to do better in school, because when you can pay attention, when you understand the material a lot faster, it's easy for you to not only not need attention, but at the same time, teachers will always use the good students as examples. So that's kind of a form of validation. Black boys are basically maintained until they get out of school. They will pass you. They'll put you in ESOL classes. They're just going to maintain you and keep you around until they ain't got to deal with you no more. And that really hurts your self-esteem, because nobody ever really fixed the problem. They just pawn you off to other people. And then you get around your women, and your women telling you you're not good enough. And your women talking about how you broke, even though a lot of times there's nothing for you to really inherit to build on. And then you got to deal with your family having expectations of you in order to help them have an easier life, even though a lot of the times your parents might have not even put you in a position to be able to make their life easier as they transition to getting older. And then you got to deal with your siblings who came from the exact same position as you, but some of them might blame you for why you not helping them. And they don't understand that, look, how can I help you if I can't even help myself? You got to let me put myself in an advantageous position so I can help you. But how can I do that if you just, if I'm sitting here branching out and all y'all doing is just pulling on my leaves? So I get it. When you walk outside and it's you against the world, and then you get home and your only peace of mind is when you close that door, you go inside your room, you listen to your music, and you try to figure out how the hell we gonna make it out this. Sharing clothes with my siblings. I know what it's like. Sharing shoes with my siblings. I know what it's like. Christmas break come and I don't got new clothes, but everybody else in the school do, or some of the people in the school do. Black people like to nitpick at each other. Like to always look down at one another, always talking about each other, whatever it might be, from the hairstyle to the nails to whether your Jordans are real or not. Black people, we've made a culture of critiquing one another. It's a lot of stuff I don't even agree with. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Whether it's their style, whether it's the way that they talk. If you smart in the black community, they'll pick on you for being too smart. If you tall in the black community, they'll pick on you for being lanky. If you short in the black community, they'll pick on you for being a hobbit. They will pick on you if you too big, you too skinny, you too tall, you too short, if you dark skinned, if you light skinned, if your hair bald, if you got a super nappy afro, they gonna pick on you. All black people go through that in the black community. All black people go through that. Now, why is that important for me to mention? Because now, when you start getting you some success, black man, you start getting yourself some success, black woman, you start propping yourself up. You start getting all this validation. You start getting all this attention that you feel like you always deserve. You start getting some appreciation. You start having people look up to you. People treat you with respect. People come to you to solve their problems. You start getting that. Now, where does fame come into play? Fame come into play when you start being idolized by a huge group of people. You know what you care about? You care about your legacy meaning something. Now follow me. Why is it so important for the media and all of these other groups of people that's outside of the black community to come into our spaces and prop us up, make us famous? Why is that? Because when you prop up a group of people and you make them famous, but they working in your vicinity, they working underneath you, you can control their image. You can control their legacy. Think about it. I was thinking about this. You have these people of different groups that will commit the same terrible, heinous crimes as black people, and it'll get swept under the rug. But it always go unnoticed. But when a black person does it, it's plastered all over the place. P. Diddy. It's plastered all over the place. Bill Cosby. It's plastered all over the place. Shannon Sharp. It's plastered all over the place. Cat Williams. It's plastered all over the place. Corey Holcomb. It's plastered all over the place. Joy Reid. It's plastered all over the place. When a black person does something, it is so easy for them to go trending. It's so easy for them to be made a mockery of. It's so easy for them to be made a joke of. It's so easy. I was thinking about that. I'm like, yo, why is it? Because I didn't heard about some white people doing crazy things like that UFC fighter that was beating on his wife like a drumstick. I forgot his name. He's not that famous. Or that O-line football player that almost beat his girlfriend until she was not alive. Almost took her life. Chad Wheeler, him. He went to prison. Nobody really know that dude. It got swept under the rug, but guess what? Lamar Jackson be everywhere. Guess what? Russell Wilson be all over the place. Why does Russell Wilson trend more than Tom Brady? That's crazy. Think about that. Tom Brady, potentially the best quarterback to ever play the game. You don't really hear much about Tom Brady. The only time you heard about Tom Brady is when his wife was cheating on him. And you know why it went viral so heavy? A lot of black people fuck with Tom Brady. We fuck with Tom Brady. And Tom Brady decided to go on a roast. Kevin Hart roasted him, and that's what made that whole thing go viral. But if Kevin Hart didn't roast him, if that roast didn't happen, nobody would have really cared about that. It's like other groups of people, things happen with them or to them, nobody talk about it. But as soon as a black person, you don't even got to be that famous. You don't even got to be no insanely famous black person. You could be mid-famous. You could be like average famous. Like some people know you, some people don't. But then if something happened, it's just all over the place. It's plastered everywhere. And the reason why that's so important is because when people can make you a figurehead of a stereotype, they can control how the world views you. If somebody can control how the world view you, black man, why do you think Asian women have a bad taste in their mouth about you? I'm not talking about all of them, but let's be real. Anytime we travel the country, most women prefer white men. Let's be real. Let's really be real. Let's really be real. Why is that? It's not because white men are better. It's not because they smarter. It's not because they have more money than us, because I'm gonna be honest, I make more money than the majority of people in the country, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not talking about that. Because we want to talk about the wealth in this country. The 1% controls majority of the wealth in the country. Yeah, they are white, but there's way more poor white people than there are white people that got money in this country. Okay, they got a lot of white people that's hurting out here too. I don't want to sit here and act like white people don't deal with adversity and they don't deal with struggling and paying bills. They do. It's a lot of them out here. But the reputation that white people and these white men have been able to create for themselves, it's something to be admired when they travel overseas. That's why a white man that don't really got nothing, he can go to Asia, he can go to Europe, he can go to Africa, he can go to North America, South America, and women will put him as their number one priority. Majority of women, when you go to these other countries, they prefer a white man first. Majority of them, I'm not talking about all of them. Majority of them prefer a white man first. And that is strictly because white men in the United States control the media. They control the image of themselves. Black people don't control the image of themselves. Y'all think just because you getting famous, you have control of your image. That's not true. That is not true at all. You are just a product that people might love. But at the end of the day, the people you answer to are the ones that dictate whether you're going to be on that TV or not. The people you answer to are the ones that dictate whether you're going to get that shoe deal or not. It ain't your people. It ain't black people you got to go through for that shoe deal, unless you want to mess with LeVar Ball. But the bottom line is, black people, you do not control your own image in the media. And so they can use that to their advantage to pick on what you insecure about. Maybe expectations of what you think your man should be able to bring to the table for you, black woman. Expectations of what a real black woman is. Maybe as a black man, what you think a real black woman is. So being famous, in my opinion, I have learned being famous is a huge trap. It's a huge trap. It's a death trap. You ain't gonna have no control of your image. You ain't gonna have no control of what you represent to the world. These white people are gonna let you be as famous as they want you to be. Because guess what? As soon as they done with you, you out of here. Ain't that what they did to DaBaby? He said something homophobic, I believe, while he was at a concert. Man, his fan base was gone. I think he came out with an album. Dude fell off. He only sold like 20,000 records like the next week or something. It was crazy. But there's certain black people that do have control of their image, but ever so slightly. There's certain black people that, you know what, they might not have control of their image, but their fan base was not given to them. People like Lil Boosie, people like Cat Williams, people like Master P, they got their own fan base. Their fan base was not given to them, and therefore they can't really be canceled. Like Dave Chappelle, they can't really be canceled. But at the end of the day, I think that is the only way to control your own image and to be somebody that you can't really cancel. When you do something like what Corey Holcomb doing, or what Lil Boosie did, or Dave Chappelle, or Cat Williams, when you are authentic and you build your own fan base, like LeVar Ball, you build your own fan base, they can't cancel you. Because the success that you got, it was earned. And the people are not going to be so quick to believe what the media put out. They're going to support you regardless. So it's going to be like some unsung hero, underdog type story. Some Derrick Rose type story. That's the kind of love you want. You want that Derrick Rose love where people going to support you regardless of what you do and where you at. Because they resonate with you. You don't want that poster boy love. You don't want the love to where you got to sell yourself out and sell your people out just to stay in the good graces of the media. And the main thing you got to understand is most people that's in that pot with you, they going through the same thing you going through. They don't got leverage to care about what you going through.